Thank you. Next item on the agenda is licensure ratification of facility licenses. We will need a motion for the 3 facility licenses. Since one of these licenses is a colleague in one of the towns where I operate a funeral home, I will be abstaining from the vote.
Mr. Chairman, I move for ratification.
Moved by Mr. Taniff. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dodson. Any further discussion? Would you call the roll then?
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
I abstain, please. And the motion carried. Thank you. 703, no motion items. Looks like we have some individuals issued a registration numbers in July. This is information only. Some individuals certified as an apprentice in July. Information only, no motion needed. Any questions on any of those items before we move on?
We'll see all them in the board meeting then, huh?
I guess.
The new task.
You need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
No motion item, thank you. Moving on then, continuing education. We have a list. Mr. Finfrock, any problems with any of these?
No, sir.
Okay. The CEU report is before you. I have one comment to make, and I will be leaving this up to the executive director, but it has come to my attention by a couple of licensees that there are some issues at times with some of the larger CEU programs, actually people kind of leaving an hour or so in advance of the program, rather flagrantly. So I would ask our inspectors, they're both back there, that if you're in an area, it's certainly your discretion to attend these programs or pop in and see that they're all there, and if they're not, obviously let the board know. I would remind the board too that it's your obligation as board members, those of us that are licensees, because I don't think Mr. Taniff and Mr. Dodson come to too many of our CEU programs. But it is our obligation as licensees, if we see this happening, to obviously bring that forward, because those hours can all be denied, number one, and number two, it can also look badly for the person trying to bring them forth. I've asked Mr. Finfrock to be aware of that. Where's lost him? Okay, yeah. So, I see, Inspector, you have the floor.
Do you want us to do an audit, or you just want us to pop in and just see what we see?
No, I know, my opinion, and this is up to the directors that you're going to be working with, my opinion is if you're in an area of the state and you see on the list that there's a 6 or an 8 hour program and you pop in there and everybody has left and there's 2 hours left, then we need to know about that.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, obviously, philosophically, I think that the paramount issue before this board for enforcement is, of course, prepaid funeral fraud and compliance. I'd hate with this sort of comment or this sort of discussion for the limited staff that we have to take the impression that the other stuff is now less important than whether or not the continuing educational components are being ducked out by 10 minutes.
Oh, and I'm not looking for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And your point is well taken. I'm not expecting them to attend all of those. I'm just saying, and I'm asking the board members too, if they're there to be vigilant.
Maybe we can press upon the people that are applying for these hours to remind the licensees.
Right, and I've asked Mr. Finfrock to do that, which he has been. So,
Mr. Chairman, you need a motion?
yes, have you all had a chance to review? If so, I will accept the motion.
I move to approve the continuing education program applications presented.
Moved and seconded to approve the continuing education programs. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next thing, 8.02, application for waiver of continuing education requirements, recommendation to approve, licensee Carol A. Parabeck. Is there any problem with this staff-wise? No?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the application for waiver of continuing education requirement for Carol Pearl.
Moved by Mr. Tanev. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dodson. Any further discussion? Okay. Mr. Griffin, will you call the roll?
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Last thing, under continuing education, number 8.03, application for 50-year exemption of continuing education requirements, recommendation to approve. I can only hope I make it that far. 1E, Stephen Connor. Any problems with that? Okay.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved by Mr. Tanev. Is there a second?
Yes.
Seconded by Mrs. Pugh. Any further discussion?
Now, just for clarification, can either of these people be the person ultimately in charge of the location if you're on a waiver?
I believe not.
That's why I wondered, I didn't think you could.
No.
Okay.
It basically,
I believe they can still conduct the funeral,
Yeah.
but they can't be actually in
In
charge
charge, that's
or
what I thought.
the
manager.
manager.
Okay. We have a motion then, and a second, and we've had discussion. All those in, call the roll, please.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. Number 9 on the agenda, a recommendation to charge case number 1600159. I'll ask Mr. Griffin to present this, please.
Funeral director failed to file 13 individual death certificates in a timely manner. Those 13 death certificates, the funeral director failed to obtain signatures for 4 death certificates in a timely manner and failed to obtain 6 burial permits for final disposition. And the funeral home and funeral director buried 2 individuals without filing a death certificate or burial permit.
Okay. And the violations are pointed out in front of you, 4717.14.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we charge the funeral home and the funeral director with 13 violations.
It has been moved by Mr. Tanev to charge for these violations. Is there, the 13 violations, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Wapner. Any further discussion? I guess I would ask one thing here. Ms. Bachbrader, what is the max penalty on this?
I'm sorry, I don't know that off the top of my head.
I'm trying to see here. I thought it was.
There weren't any.
I don't know if there's a maximum or something.
For first offense, they can forfeit their license, also a maximum fine of minimum fine 500, max fine 5,000. Okay. It's been moved then, I'm sorry, by Mr., was it Tanev?
Yes.
The move, Mr. Washko.
Mr. Wapner.
Wapner, sorry. Seconded. And no further discussion?
No accident circumstances or anything else we need to know.
Okay, call for the roll, please.
Mr. Dotson?
Yeah.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
Mr. Riddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Compliance case number 9.02. Mr. Griffin?
Give me 1 second to load, sorry.
That's okay.
The funeral home failed to embalm or refrigerate 2 deceased individuals in a timely manner. Funeral home director failed to file death certificates and burial permits for 2 individuals in a timely manner.
Mr. Chairman, I move we charge case number 1700007.
Second.
It has been moved by Mr. Taniff to charge, in this case, number 1700007, seconded by Mrs. Pugh. Any further discussion? This case, for your information, is connected to the first case. Hearing no discussion, then I'll ask for a roll call vote to charge.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Taniff?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Last recommendation to charge is case number 1600161. I'll give Eric a break on this one. The funeral home and/or funeral director misappropriated prepaid pre-need funeral service funds in the amount of $60,286.34 from 28 of its clients over a time period of approximately 21 years.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we charge case number 1600161.
I second.
Moved by Mr. Taniff to charge case number 1600161, seconded by Mrs. Pugh. Any further discussion?
Do we know if that has been, reciprocity that's taking place where he's paid back not reciprocity, but hasn't paid back the pre-need funds yet?
I'll call on the,
We'd have to ask Mr. Inspector Anderson.
Not yet, there's a plan, but.
please stand so everybody can hear. I'm sorry, Eric.
Not yet, there is a plan, but it has not been followed through yet.
I know, I saw reading information that was their intent.
Okay, we've had a motion, is that correct? And second, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the roll, please.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Taniff?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Number 9.04, ratification of closed compliance cases. The executive director, compliance coordinator, and inspector may determine there is no probable cause identified in a written complaint. The executive director may close the case. Do you have any comments you want to make, Eric?
We met with our Assistant Attorney General Bachrader, myself, and the inspectors, and discussed each one of the cases and the facts that were presented and that we had uncovered during any inspection or investigation, and felt that these cases could be closed at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we ratify the closed compliance cases presented and confirm closed.
I guess we don't even need a motion on that. Is that true? Or do we?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll
We
second.
do.
I move that Mr. Dodson seconded.
Taniff, Dodson. Okay. Further discussion? Call for the roll then, please.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Ms. Pugh?
Yes.
Mr. Wapner?
Yes.
Mr. Taniff?
Yes.
Mr. Reddick?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Number 9.05, pending investigations.
This one's information.
Information only, that's in front of everyone. Is there any question or comment? I guess we don't need anything, it's just a report. Okay. Last thing, under compliance, number 9.06, Attorney General case status update from Ms. Bachrader. I'm getting the name better. Anything unusual or that we need to know? May I ask a technical point?
Sure.
I've been reading these now since my tenure on the board. There are some things that just stay on there like forever that have kind of been done. Is there a reason for that, or?
Is it the end
Yes.
For the- That's what the previous AGs did,
Mhm.
so some of those things are informational, so I
Okay.
left it there because new board members, et cetera, to kind of see the history of some of the things,
Okay.
some advice has been given.
It just makes it look
I
like we've got a
just-
lot going on.
Right, and so I've left it on there because that's what previous AGs did, and also because we have new members, just to kind of see some of the advice that's been given in the recent past, but.
And I did see a lot of settlement agreements, finished up there, that we did last month, so.
For the actual individual cases where they're settled, those I don't think.
They take off,
But
okay.
The end is just kind of summaries of advice, et cetera, that the AG's office has given.
Mr. Chairman, I always thought the same thing, but was too afraid to ask.
Really? I can't imagine that out
I
of
was
you,
just
Mr.
following
Tanner.
Now that you open that door, I wonder why, do we have to do it this way? Because
I mean, I honestly was doing it because that's what, I didn't want to upset the card if that's how.
I used to look at this and say, wait a minute, didn't I get this last month?
I mean, I think it's helpful this month just because we have new board members,
Mhm.
but in the future, I can certainly
Streamline.
change that.
I will.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on this?
No, informational. Fine. Number 10, board operation. The fun part. Discussion scheduling of future meeting dates. To reach for my calendar here. Try and make this as painless as possible, but it is some important things. Number one, on the current calendar, I have made a couple revisions, that being, and that's this document here, which everybody has a copy of, it's public, on, I don't see as it's necessary, so I'm going to ask the executive director to strike operations committee meetings in October and December. We'll keep the one in September, if that's okay with the officers, which would be Mr. Tanner and Mr. Wapner, to meet at 11:30 in September to go over some things. And I'll tell you why, basically to give our new exec a little input there.
What's the date again?
The date on that one, Mr. Tanner, will be 9/19/2016.
Okay, so you want me here at 11 or 11:30?
11:30, please. Mr. Wapner, are you okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Very good. And then there will be no operations committee in October, so if someone could strike that from the meetings. And also then, we'll leave the November on there, again, to see how that works out, and strike the one in December, is what I'm looking for.
And
Also,
again, Mr. Chairman, let's see. Okay, so November 21st, you want me here at 11:30?
at this point, yes. It could get canceled, depending on how much work we get done,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
and what the new executive director brings forward. Okay. All right. The last thing, I've taken the prerogative of assigning the December apprenticeship interviews to Ms. Pugh. So you'll be taking care of those in December. Reminding the licensed members of the board that we have Mr. Wapner in September. Ms. Clark, you said we have a light agenda in September, I believe you told me?
Yes, maybe around 5.
Okay, very good. I think he can handle that. October, do you have an idea yet what we're looking at?
Actually, I sent you the email. I want to say 11, but I'm not certain.
Okay, so that's myself. Oh, boy, I'll be asking for help. And have you went any further out?
I went on to the end of the year. There may be 2 in November, and there was 13 in 1 month. It might have been December.
Mr. Chandler got 2? It does not seem fair.
Linda's my favorite employer.
But how many in December? 13?
There might be 13.
Okay, that's Jill, and we'll give you some help on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So that finishes up the end of the year. Let's get into next year. There's been some discussion, and we can certainly have some hearty give and take on this. And I'll kind of open this up, and you can have at it. As most of you know, the normal meeting has been the third Monday of the month, and the agendas have been sent to us on the Friday before. That causes a problem with some people, and there has been some concern about that. There's a couple ways around that. We can either get the agendas out early, which Eric endeavored to do, and everybody had a chance to do some input on that since last Wednesday, I believe, which seemed to work a lot better for me, and leave it on Mondays. You can move the meeting to Tuesdays. It's your board. You can, now is the time to make that policy. The only thing is, again, as I reiterated last month, we got to have a quorum, so I'm expecting everyone here, accepting emergencies and so on and so forth.
Mr. Chairman, both Mr. Dotson and I would prefer Tuesday, but anything other than Monday or Friday, obviously, so Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
No, I have Tuesday conflict.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Army Bank.
Okay, would you be available Wednesday or Thursday?
Yes.
And then the other thing is, how does this board feel about
It's only the third Tuesday.
moving these to a morning instead of 1 o'clock every day?
We're in the discussion phase.
We have the furthest to come, Mr. Chairman.
I do. It worked. I can work around it. It's not a big deal. I have a, let me see here. Wednesday. The only thing I would say is we would have to do our apprentice interviews then on the Tuesday. And that does not affect you gentlemen, mainly because Thursdays are bad for me. I have another commitment. So would that work okay with you, Ms. Clark? Okay. So we could do apprentice interviews then on a Tuesday. What does everybody think about mornings? I would assume this has some bearing on Mr. Operator and others. I don't know your agenda schedules. Tim, weigh in on this because it's going to be affecting you too.
You know, it's, from my perspective, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think from a director's perspective, coming from the legislature, I don't know how much legislative activity this board has.
I suppose with weather too, that mornings might be challenging for some of you, so it's up to you guys.
For me,
Just Mondays are bad days.
coming as an employee, not an employer, it would be hard for me to say I need 2 days off a month to either do apprentice interviews and then have a meeting. I like having everything in one day. I think it cuts down on travel for a whole week.
Which we can still do with you because you can get 3 apprentices and we can help you, with some of the others. So, Tom, do you have any opposition to staying at 1 o'clock then, but only on Wednesdays?
Great,
Third Wednesday?
great.
So, if everybody wants to open their calendars, and I'll read through these, and I'm sure someone from staff will look through this here. And that would be, I have to check one quick thing here to see if there could be a couple of us that have a problem in February, so I just want to double check that.
And Mr. Chairman, these new dates would begin when? January?
Yes,
Oh,
that's a new calendar would start in January.
great.
I notice the association usually has theirs pegged for the third Wednesdays, possibly at the quarters. If we wanted to attend any of those, there's our morning meetings though.
Yeah.
So we should be able to do both and make it here by 1. I don't think that would be an issue.
I think I might still be able to have apprentice interviews in the morning if we're requiring them to attend the meeting. It'd be nice if we can still do apprentice interviews in the morning, they can stay for the board and do it all in one day. So I have to make them 2 trips.
Was that handy for you interns? apprentices?
That was the same day?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good, okay. Well, so, is everybody okay with Wednesday?
And that would be the third Wednesdays of each, or would we change that depending on your association meeting?
No, my only concern is in February, 2 officers could be gone, possibly.
That would be the 15th of February?
Yeah. I'm wondering if we could make the February meeting the 4th Wednesday. Does anybody have a problem with that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, let me read through these and see if everybody concurs. It would be the January meeting on the 18th.
That's about the only one I think I actually might have a conflict with the Funeral Service Foundation meeting.
Okay.
That I'll chair.
What about the 25th for you? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, might be the only one missing, so it may not.
Well, again, if you have something on your calendar, I'd rather try and work around it now.
25th is fine.
Okay, can we do the 4th Wednesday? And there again, please, staff members, Ms. Clark, anyone else, any problems here with anything? Going the 4th?
May I ask you, how early do you plan on starting the meeting?
1 o'clock, same time.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So, the January meeting will be the 25th. Let me just ask this, just throw it out there on the floor. Does anybody have a problem with the 4th Wednesday of the month?
So that seems like whatever.
Is there any thing in the office? Where are we at? Jared, Dan? You see any problems?
I think it actually will work better for everyone.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree. Seems like there's a lot scheduled on the 3rd. It's the 3rd for
On
me.
that end too, for the next month.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the month.
This is true.
I'm sorry to hear, Mr.
I
Chancellor.
think it gives everybody a chance to get the continuing education applications in a little later, because it seems like you're always running up against time. The middle of the month makes it hard to get stuff in.
All okay back there? I heard you guys. We're good? Okay. Thank you. So, we're gonna go with
do 4th Wednesday.
4th Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock of every month.
Yeah, apprentice interviews will be on Tuesday.
Do you want to keep them in the morning?
Well, we'll do them Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll do them
Okay.
both days. Because there again, if we have 15 or 18, you almost have to have 2 days. And we'll just work with Ms. Pugh any way we can there. No problem. We're flexible.
Took care of all mine by myself.
Give me a break. We only had 2. Yeah. All right, so the dates, I'll run through these. January 15th. February.
Wait, 25th.
I'm sorry, 3rd. 25th. No, there's 3. 2017, January the 4th is the 25th, you're right.
Yeah.
22nd of February, March 22, April 26, May 24th, June 28, and I need to stop right there for just 1 second.
Would be July 26th.
And I will tell you that I am, that's our organizational meeting, and I would be absent that day.
Well, we can, I suppose, adjust that month this far in advance if this board's preference is to do the July meeting on a different day.
Could we do that one on the 19th by chance? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And August, the 4th Wednesday, Mr. Chairman, would be the 23rd.
Uh-huh.
And September, the 4th Wednesday would be the 27th.
Correct.
And October, the 4th Wednesday would be 25th.
Correct.
And November, is that a problem, November? For the 22nd, a problem for anybody?
It's the day before Thanksgiving.
It is. Day before Thanksgiving.
That's why I asked.
I gotta check the Ohio dates here.
I know, like, we close our offices, I think during noon.
Yeah, you do the 15th.
Sounds good. So that one would be November 15th?
Okay. And December, of course, let's see, the 27th would be,
That would be a tough one.
You guys want to do Wednesday the 20th?
Because I believe most attorneys close for that whole 2-week period, don't they?
It's like factories, they shut down.
Is the 20th okay for the December meeting, third Wednesday? As Eric pointed out, it'll make it easy to plan for the rooms
Yeah.
and get everything straightened out then, so we will get that publicized, and I thank you for making that as painless as possible. Moving on to 10.02 inspections. There is a listing there, come on. Ah. Any questions or comments on the inspections? I would like to ask the inspectors just a question. Was this a typical month, or was this a heavy month investigation-wise? Because I noticed we only hit about 6%.
Fairly typical, but heavy on investigation.
Okay. All right. I do notice that you did, somebody did inspect the Wapner funeral homes. Everything was fine with those?
Yes.
Just checking.
Did that before I started.
Well, the governor's office called me at 4:30, and by 7 the next morning, Eric was at my door.
That's what happened with me.
Okay. Item number 9.03, budget overview. I'll ask Eric to comment on that, please.
The attached document is vouchers as of July 16th, just listing the expenditures of the agency thus far.
Very good. We will be doing some work fast and furious because that date is coming up with September. I know, from my standpoint, I know Mr. Taniff has made mention that I would certainly like to see in the budget a way that we can work in another investigator. So those are some things, Tom, that we'll have on the agenda there also.
And I'd be happy to work with you wherever I can, Tim, on that.
Thanks.
Right around.
Great.
I'll look for you, having been on budget committees before.
I've been on the other side of that table.
Yeah.
Not the asking, usually the granting, but that'd be great. Thanks for your all.
Is there, anyone else, now is the time, any board member have anything else they'd like to bring up? The chair recognizes Mr. Tan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dodson brought up a very interesting point, which I overlooked when we were discussing early on in the agenda this afternoon, the social media issue and the YouTube issue. He brought up, where do we know where the original board videos are stored? I had on numerous occasions emailed Ms. Niekamp asking this question, and have CC'd our AG's office as well. I never did receive a response from Ms. Niekamp on where the original videos are stored.
I think Mr. Eric can.
Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, we have all the original media from every